The beginning. The old farmhouse sits just outside the edge of the city. A few miles of pasture separate it from the chaos of everyday city bustle. Paint peels from the wood cladding. It is the last attempt to save the wood before it needs to be replaced. 3 generations grew up in that house, and upkeep was always the intention, but was left unattended with the everyday chores that come with a farm. It can be seen from the road, poking above the corn stalks. The heat from the late July sun beat down on the land. The only living thing that can be heard is cicadas. Even the dogs stay hunkered down under the porch for a little relief. Once the heat breaks in September, it will be time to harvest the corn, leaving behind little daggers for hundreds of acres around. Inside the house it is anything but quiet. A loud siren rings through the house, coming from the television. After a few seconds, an announcer's voice comes on with an emergency screen. This is an emergency broadcast for Crawford County. Governor Ridley has issued a state of emergency. All attempts to go outside are forbidden. Everyone is asked to stay indoors and not to reach out to friends or loved ones. The voice leaves, and the sirens return. This broadcast plays on repeat as the residents make their way in and out of rooms, grabbing bags, guns, supplies, and taking them out of the house. Gary and Becky are already at the cabin. Justin and Bree are on their way. They have their kids. Rocklin, only necessities. Randy barks on his phone, throwing out orders to the other line and everyone at the house. He's reaching 50. But his soul remains the same as the day he left the military 20 years ago. He is the 3rd-generation owner of the house. A 16-year-old boy holding his beloved PlayStation returns to his room, doing as his father instructed, and puts back the console. Growing up, Rocklin never did well with an authoritarian parent. He has never been feminine by any means, but his father would disagree. As a result, Rocklin had always gravitated towards his mother. He looks around his room, trying to find acceptable items to take. He grabs his school backpack, emptying it on the floor, and fills it with a few pairs of clothes, his old baseball bat, and he throws a few of his favorite PlayStation games in. Everyone takes their last load out of the house as Randy inspects the house, making sure everyone did their part. Happy with the result, he grabs his backpack out of his trusty recliner. A couple of rifle barrels stick out of the top of the bag. He reaches for the side table drawer, pulling out an old Glock 19. Rocklin throws his bags in the sliding door of a 1995 Town and Country minivan. His little sister, Sierra, helps him load up the last of the bags into the van. She turned 10 2 weeks ago, and she is still telling everyone how old she turned. Right now, though, her age is the last thing on her mind. She is confused, but she is trying her hardest to do what she is told and not ask questions. Randy's little brother, Travis, tries his hardest to bring Randy's rusted Chevy C10 to life, but the engine just rolls and rolls. Randy throws his bag in the back of the truck and notices Travis struggling. "Travis, take the van," Randy demands Travis. "Rocklin, you are with him. Sierra, you are with me. Let's go." Travis continues trying to get the truck to start. The radio keeps turning on with each attempt. The emergency broadcast is on every channel. "You're not giving it the gas right. Get out. I will get it going. You're just going to kill the battery." Travis gives up his attempt and lets Randy try. After a couple of pumps on the gas pedal, the truck starts to purr. Before doing as her father said, Sierra digs through one of the bags in the van and pulls out her teddy bear. It has been a few years since she played with it. It is sticky with aged dust. She brushes it off and runs to the passenger seat of the truck. Now that everyone is in their assigned vehicles, Randy yells to Travis, "Denise is still at work. We need to pick her up before heading out." "That's in the center of town. Do you think that's the best idea?" "We are not leaving her in there." Without waiting for Travis's response, Randy takes off down the drive, headed for town. Inside the truck, Sierra clings to her stuffed animal. Out of the corner of Randy's eye, he notices a tear running down his daughter's cheek. He does not want to embarrass her by bringing attention to it. Aren't you too old for that thing? The much more gentle approach. What's happening in town? Why are you worried about Mom? She wipes her eyes, trying to hide it from him. Everything is going to be fine. I'm not going to let anything happen to you guys. I promise. Is Mom in danger? Mom is fine. People are acting weird in town, so we are going to pick her up. What do you mean, weird? It seems like a sickness is spreading, making people attack each other. Do you mean like when Spike got rabies and tried to bite me? I'm not sure. We are going to get away from people for a little while until we know what is going on and everyone is better. Dad, that sounds like a... She is cut off by Randy, who notices something in the road. Whoa, what's going on here? A man is walking down the center of the road. As they get closer, Randy notices that the man has a large wound on his arm. The man is walking slowly, maybe in shock from whatever accident he was in. Randy stops the truck and jumps out to see if he needs help. Stay in the truck, Sierra. I'm going to see if he is okay. Before Randy can even get his feet on the ground, Travis is beside him. The two of them approach the man who is still walking slowly. The man notices them and walks straight towards them. Sir, do you need some help? You know, walking down the middle of the road is a good way to get ran over. Randy asks the man, but there is no response. Hey, mister, what happened to you? You are losing a bunch of blood. Did you wreck your car? Randy scans the landscape, trying to see the man's car. As Randy and Travis get closer, the man lunges at them. They jump back, avoiding the man. Dad, that's a zombie. Neither Randy nor Travis notice Sierra get out of the truck. Sierra, get back in the truck, Travis demands his niece. They watch to make sure Sierra goes back. As they do, Randy has a moment to think about what she said. It can't be, right? He asks Travis, as he looks back at the man who has made it back to his feet and is walking towards them again. No, there's no way. Sir, don't take another step, Randy tells the man, but he does not seem to hear a word Randy says. Step by step, the man gets closer. Randy pulls his Glock on him. I will shoot if you take another step. The man seems unfazed. Bang! The shot rings out across the land. The man's arm jerks back from the force of the bullet, but he continues taking step by step, completely unaware that he has a hole in his arm. Randy and Travis slowly step backwards as the man gets closer. Beside them, they did not realize, but Sierra had joined them again. That's what the news is all about? He's a zombie. You have to shoot him in the head. The man lunges at them. Bang! The man falls to the ground, lifeless. Thick, coagulated blood oozes out of his forehead. Sierra looks at the man with curiosity. It was kind of gross to her, but it caught her off guard. She figured that the blood would spew out of him as it does in the movies. In the distance, behind them, sirens can be heard getting louder. Randy grabs Sierra and drags her back to the truck. Come on, we gotta get out of here, he tells the two. Speeding down the road, Randy is white-knuckling the steering wheel. Sierra watches him sweating from stress. Her whole life, he had seemed like a hardened warrior, but now that he had to bite and not bark, he was falling apart. Dad, it's okay, you had to. He was going to bite you. Then you would be one. He didn't have a weapon. I shouldn't have... Never mind. I shouldn't be talking about... Dad, calm down. Drive the speed limit. Why are you freaking out? I thought you were in wars. He lets off the gas. Without the roaring of the engine, he can hear the outside. He had left the sirens so far in the distance that he could no longer hear them. The silence calms him and allows him to focus again. You're right, honey. I'm sorry. Claire moved away from the city 10 years ago. After being hit on a couple of times by homeless men as she walked to her apartment late at night after her shift, she decided that the city was not the life for her. Shortly after moving away, she met Tim at the new church she started going to. A year later, they were married. Gage came a year after that. Her perfect little farm life was complete. Her kitchen was hot. The old air conditioner could not keep up with the humid weather outside. Every evening when she cooked, it was all their air conditioner could do to keep it around 80 in the kitchen. She turns the burners off and takes a big drink of sweet tea. She normally times it perfectly, but today she finished dinner early. Or maybe Tim needed to get gas on his way home. She takes the extra time for a small break. She can hear Gage in the living room playing a video game. She looks out the window, watching the heat break up the horizon like water floating in the air as she sips on her tea. A few minutes go by and she finally hears the front door open. "Just finished dinner, honey." He does not respond to her. She can hear him start to wrestle with Gage. She smiles, thinking about them playing together. "Dad, stop," Gage says from the other room. "Will you guys stop messing around and come make a plate?" They continue to play. "Tim, come on." "Help!" Gage yells out. He tries to say something else, but it is muffled by their scuffling. The smile starts to fade. He is already late. If they keep wasting time, the food will get cold. She marches into the living room to break them apart. Horror crosses her face. Tim is covered in blood. He is on his knees in the middle of the living room, eating an inside-out Gage. "Tim?" is all she can get out. She is frozen, not believing what she is seeing. Tim looks up at her, then sprints towards her. Claire remains frozen. He plows into her, knocking her on her back. He lands on top of her, clawing at her and trying to take bites of her hands as she fights him off of her. She gets in one good kick to his gut, launching him off of her. She scrambles to her son. "Gage!" She tries to make sense of what she is looking at. Tim jumps up and runs for her. She rushes back to the kitchen with Tim right behind her. The pot of green beans is still steaming as she grabs it and smacks Tim in the face. His skin blisters and reddens from the boiling water. The hit makes him stumble and hesitate for a second as his brain settles back into place. Claire uses the moment to make her exit. She dashes for the front door. "Dad, what's going on over there?" Sierra asks, pointing at a small house on the side of the road. Randy looks where she is pointing. A woman is running out of the house, frantic as a man chases after her. Claire tries to wave Randy down for help, but she is dragged to the ground by her hair as Tim catches up with her. Tim claws and bites her face, peeling flesh off with each swipe. Randy slams on his brakes. He barely gets the truck in park before he jumps out of it. As he runs to the couple, Travis has stopped too and is running right behind him. "Get off her!" Travis yells at Tim. Randy grabs Tim by the shoulders and throws him off of Claire, but it is obvious that they are too late. Claire lies on the ground, gulping for air, drowning in her blood. Her face is slashed up with cuts and bites. Steam comes from a deep cut in her neck with each attempt to breathe. Travis goes to her side, trying to apply pressure on her neck to stop the bleeding. "What do I do?" Travis pleads to Randy. Before Randy can help, Tim jumps up and charges after Randy. "What the hell are you doing?" Randy yells at Tim. Without answering, Tim dives at him. Randy pulls his Glock and with a quick shot, Tim falls to the ground without movement. Randy turns back to Travis, who is terrified. Claire's attempts to breathe soften as the fear in her eyes leaves. The two stay in silence for a few moments until they hear the sirens catching up to them. They really are. Randy is cut off by a police cruiser pulling into the drive. The policeman jumps out of his car and pulls his gun on Randy and Travis. "What's going on here?" The policeman seems to be around 30 with short gelled hair into spikes. "He attacked her. I didn't have a choice." Randy pleads with the man. "Was he infected?" Travis cuts in. "Can you lower your gun?" "Answer the question," the policeman demands. "He was attacking her. We tried to help," Randy tells him. The policeman notices the kids in the cars watching the show out of the windows. "You guys in the cars, I need you to get out and stand next to them." He signals for Sierra and Rockland to stand with Randy and Travis. They do as they are told. "Have any of you been bitten or scratched by an infected?" Come on, man, he was sick. Stop calling him that. Travis says. No, none of us has been touched by them. Randy answers the question to help relieve some of the tension. The police officer lowers his gun. All right, you guys stay there. I'm going to call this in. We have to leave. My wife is working in the city. We need to pick her up. Randy says. No can do. No one is allowed in or out. I was heading to my post. The city is on strict lockdown. My wife is in there. I'm going to get her. I'm really sorry about that, but that cannot happen. I have orders to shoot anybody trying to leave or enter. She is in there with people like that. You have to let me go in and get her. I'm sorry, man. The policeman turns around, going to his car to make the call. As soon as he turns his back to the family, Rockland sprints for his dad's truck. Hey, stop! The truck peels out as Rockland speeds away towards town. The policeman runs after him with his gun drawn and aimed. Randy runs after the cop. He is just a kid, don't shoot. The truck is too far away to take an accurate shot. The cop lowers his gun and then goes to his cruiser. He reverses it to block off the road. He gets out and marches straight up to Randy. Get in your vehicle and get out of here. If you try to go after him, I will shoot you. Travis intervenes. That's bullshit. We have to go get him. The cop aims his gun at Travis. Whoa, man, what the hell? Bang! The shot rings in everyone's ears. Travis still stands without a mark, but behind him, Claire falls to the ground. Only the cop notices her rise from the dead. Everyone looks at her as her head drains. Do you have any idea what is spreading in there? This is bigger than your little family. I'm really sorry about your wife and kid, but I cannot let all of you go in there. Sierra makes her opinion heard. They are going to be fine because we are going to get them. Randy puts his arm around Sierra's shoulder and guides her back to the van. Come on, let's go. We have to get out of here. The cop gives them a warning as they make their way back to the van. You guys better not come back trying to get into the city. I am on temporary guard until the military gets here. Most men spend their weekends watching other men play with balls on television. Their entire masculinity is wrapped up in them yelling at the TV and dipping wings into ranch. That life never appealed to Randy. After retiring from the military, he bought a small house in the woods and spent most of his time in solitude. When he got married, the house was too small to raise a family, so he and Denise bought the old farmhouse outside of town to start their happily ever after. Randy kept the house in the woods, and on weekends, he would take the family there to get away, go camping, fishing, hunting. But most importantly, he spent the time preparing for an event. Over the years, he has built the house to be completely off the grid. A few years ago, he installed a solar array. He uses it to power his lights, appliances, and ham radio. When he built the house, he had an outdoor wood boiler installed. As long as he is around to put a few pieces of wood in it a couple of times a day, then he can heat his house and have unlimited hot water. He does not let very many people see his house, but the few who have all think that he went way over the top on his greenhouse. He has a pond down the hill from the greenhouse that is full of fish. There is chicken wire over the pond that is a part of his chicken coop. The whole system is kinda complicated, but it all runs off of shit. The chickens shit in the pond that feeds the algae in the pond that the fish eat. The shit water from the fish is pumped up to the greenhouse, which is used to water all the plants. After the water goes through all the dirt, it drains back into the pond to start the process over again. Besides the chickens, he also has about 10 goats. They help keep the land clear of grass, and they use a few of them for their milk. Along with the chickens, he has built up a flock of guineas. They help the chickens eat the small bugs like ticks and fleas. They also keep predators away, like snakes. He also got a couple of Highland cows last year. They are almost pets to him. He got them to breed and to make money off their calves. He also planned to butcher 1 or 2 a year to keep the freezer full of beef with lower fat and cholesterol than normal beef, but he ended up falling in love with the animals. They also eat the thorny plants in the woods. As they pull up to the house, there are already a few cars in the drive. They enter the house in chaos, as everyone who has already arrived runs around trying to get the place ready for a long stay. A short, pot-bellied man is the first to notice the three walk through the door as he is unloading cans of vegetables that he had brought from his house. "Randy, Travis, lil' girl, I was getting nervous," Gary yells out in excitement. "When you think of a redneck, that's Gary," loud without a filter. Gary has been a family friend with Randy and Denise since before Sierra was born. "It's Sierra, Gary," Sierra corrects him. Gary's wife stops what she is doing when she hears Sierra's voice. Becky, a couple of years younger than her husband, is 35. She has always been fond of Sierra. For a long time, Sierra called her Aunt Becky. Her excitement turns to anxiety when she notices Randy and Travis behind Sierra without Denise or Rocklin. "How is it out there? Did you see anything? Where is Denise and Rocklin? Are they on their way?" "Whoa there, Beck. Let him speak," Gary tells his wife. Randy tries his best to answer all her questions. "We need to get them. They are in town. The entire city is quarantined. We will have to sneak in. They have the roads blocked with police. The military is on their way." Confusion sets over Gary's face. All this over a little sickness? "They are zombies," Sierra explains to Gary. In the corner of the living room is a ham radio that Justin has been working on quietly. He is not quick to emotion. Rather, he sits back and assesses each situation. Even while trying to get the old radio to work, he was listening. "How are we getting in then?" Gary, completely oblivious that Justin was talking, blurts out his thoughts. "Zombies? Don't believe it. Government is covering something up. Yep. That's why they won't let nobody in or out. Trying to get rid of evidence before someone finds out." Randy knows that he is going to have several hours of hearing Gary talk about his conspiracies and how every little thing that goes wrong is the government's fault. He does not want to start that yet, so he ignores Gary and responds to Justin. "We are going to have to go in at night. Go through the woods." Sierra tries to prove to Gary that they know what they are talking about. "We saw them. They were eating people." "Eating people?" Becky questions with suspicion. A light twinkles in Gary's eyes. "We got Nazi zombies?" He could not be more excited about the idea. "They're not Nazis," Sierra tells Gary. Gary can hardly hold in his excitement. "The left has been calling us Nazis this whole time. I'm kinda liking the way that sounds now." Randy tries to take back control of the conversation before Gary goes off on zombie this and zombie that. "This sickness is making people go crazy. They are trying to kill each other. We are going to have to go in prepared." Gary leaps with joy. "I'm going to kill me a Nazi zombie." A big reason why they bought the farmhouse was to keep this house a secret. Most people have no idea that he owns it. The few people who do know about it are with him right now. He has one little thing, though, that he has kept a secret from everyone. Not even his wife knows about it. In his mind, there was no need for anybody to know about it unless they needed to use it. Today was the day. Randy takes the group out back. There is an old tool shed in his backyard. He moves some old tools out of the way and pulls up an old, dirty rug. Underneath is a big metal door that has been concreted into the floor. He lifts the heavy door, revealing a staircase that disappears into the darkness. He steps down into it, drowning in the black. With a loud click, light pours out of the hole. As they go down the stairs, they discover a large concrete room. Every inch of the walls are covered with gun racks completely full of every type of gun you can imagine. The center of the room has a couple of rows of metal shelves that reach to the ceiling. The shelves are full of canned food, tools, clothing, medical supplies, and ammo. In one corner is a desk with all the supplies to pack bullets. "Grab everything that you can. Sorry, girls, this is going to be a guy trip." Everyone looks around, amazed. After Randy tells the girls to stay, Becky tries to defend herself. "What? No, I'm not staying here. I can help." "If this sickness gets out, the population is going to go to shit. We need to keep the women safe at all cost," Randy points out. Becky is pissed, but she does not argue. The three men start grabbing guns and ammo. Sierra, go grab some scissors. Confused, Sierra asks, what for? You saw that girl get pulled down by her hair. That would be a terrible reason to die. We can't have that. No, I'm not cutting my hair. You said we have to stay here anyways. Becky tries to protest for Sierra. Yeah, there is no need for that. Sorry, this isn't a debate. Do as I say. Sierra considers arguing with her dad, but knows that it would not be her best idea, and leaves the bunker. Justin loads bullets into magazines and looks around at the sheer amount of guns. Do we really need all this firepower? They are going to figure this out soon, and we will have a vaccine. We need to focus on collecting the sick for research. This isn't going to just end, the way I see it. We can't wait around for a vaccine. This is going to spread fast, and the more it spreads, the harder it will be to stop. The only way this is going to end is when every one of those things are dead, Randy tells Justin. All of the men are loaded up and ready for their mission. Things? Justin asks. Randy chambers around in the Armalite rifle that he is holding. Motherfucking zombies.